a man that was heavily scrutinised. The last outfield goal for Australia of any importance was before that penalty shootout win over Peru, which got them to the World Cup. It was against the UAE, and Jackson Irvine, who's out there tonight, he did get a goal, but the very last goal to come from a Socceroo of any importance was from Aiden Frustic, who was not starting. There was some injury doubt. Kylian Mbappe now on the left side, takes on his man, gets around him easily, gets into the box, and there's some good overlapping defending running there from Nathaniel Atkinson. Mbappe will look to press the Hearts defender. There's a couple there in the back line for Australia with Kai Rowles and Nathaniel Atkinson, both making the move to Scotland and both playing in Edinburgh with the Hearts. Also Celtic with Aaron Moy. So another player there from the Scottish Premiership. For now it's Upamecano and Bayern Munich puts a ball forward to Mbappe. It comes to nothing and Australia will have a throw with a 6 minute of play. It's France 0, Australia 0. We have a group game today in this group, Denmark and Tunisia, that ended 0-0. So a chance here, Australia can get a result. I would think they would have to get something here and beat one of the other two. Tunisia might be the best bet, although they did put up a good showing today, and for most of the game had most of the better play. Kasper Schmeichel pulling off some simply amazing saves in that one. Denmark, one of the dark horses, Australia not so, and France one of the heavy favourites, especially with the loss of Argentina, as Australia enjoy some more possession. They hitch back to Rowles and Sutar again. Giroud hardly touched the ball. He will be the centravanti, the centre forward, called in one veteran for another. Benzema ruled out of this tournament. Real Madrid striker, such a good 24 months. He's the UEFA Player of the Year, a big blow for France, but with that they have the stock to bring in a player like AC Milan's Olivier Giroud, which most listeners will know from his time in the Premier League with Chelsea. Australia losing possession as they just try and tie the ball up and dictate the tempo of the match. France looking to get down the flanks as soon as they get possession. They haven't come down the corridor as of yet. As Didier Deschamps' fifth major tournament as France boss, the most in history. He wants a win to start off here. It's not often that defending champions do get a win in their first game in the next World Cup as defending champion. The reigning champion has only ever won 3 times in that opening group game. From the past 12 World Cups, that's astounding, that statistic. 1994 was Germany, 2006 and 98 was Brazil. Of course, Didier Deschamps, one of 3 to win as player and coach. Franz Beckenbauer and Mario Zagallo have done that. And he looks now to add to his CV by winning 2 in a row, back-to-back for the Frenchman, who did win as a player in 1998, along with the names like Guivanch and Zidane. Australia still in possession into the 9th minute now. A long ball coming from Sutar is delicious for Leckie. Beats his man. He gets the ball to the back post. Surely Australia will score here. This is simply amazing as Australia takes the lead in the 9th minute of play. A finish from Craig Goodwin that will be etched into the memory of future Australian glory when they remember their World Cups. This is France on the back foot. It was Lucas Hernandez that went down. He allowed Leckie in, and his ball across the face of goal. And Craig Goodman, making no mistake, he was an inclusion that most were stunned at. What a run that was from Leckie. The ball from Sutar was superb. Matthew Leckie in his 7th World Cup game, he looked up. He knew that at the back post there was a man, an additional man for Australia in the green and gold. And the opening goal sees Australia 1, France 0. Would you believe that? Graham Arnold is celebrating on the touchlines. We'll see just how long they can hold on to this lead. They will be buoyed by the fact that Saudi Arabia defeated Argentina 2-1 earlier today, and that was a come-from-behind victory. They celebrate the rapture in the stands here in the Al Janoub Stadium. Australia takes the lead, and the French players huddle around their defender, Lucas Hernandez. They do have a ready-made substitution. I'm unsure if France think there's something to look at here in the replay. Leckie not touching his man. It was Lucas Hernandez watching that ball from Sutar come through to Leckie. There was no contact at all. Lucas Hernandez clutching at his knee. Leckie went on to play a ball past Rabiot and then plus Konate. And Craig Goodwin was lurking and loitering with intent at the back stick. And that is how Australia have their first goal. From the right side of play, the ball came from Leckie across to Goodwin. He's playing on the left side of attack. The two wingers combining. And Goodwin with just his second goal for Australia. And what an important one it is. It is the first goal that Australia have scored in open play since Mile Jedinak took over to score the last 3 for Australia, all from the penalty spot. He takes on his man now. He's quite easily past Irvin, and the ball cross into the middle. Matt Ryan came, but the header behind comes from Sutar at the near post, 24-year-old from Stoke. Mbappe quickly gets the ball to the corner. It'll be taken from the left side again. Lucas Hernandez seems okay, but he's able to walk. But there has been a French substitution. His brother Theo comes in from AC Milan, so the quality and the pedigree for France is never-ending. It is bottomless. The corner comes in from Mbappe. The header away desperately. Rabiot on the edge of the area. Tries to feed it back in, as does Chouameni. Now another chance for France. The header flicked on. Matt Ryan will come and playing the bouncing ball and call for calm from his side as they take a shock lead here in Qatar at the Al Janoub. 80 minutes or so to hang on. We've seen so much stoppage time played. It's much too early for Australia to soak up ball and try and win possession and dictate the tempo. France will come. They have the talent. So many players. Juventus, Barcelona, PSG, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. The captain playing with Tottenham, beaten by a player of the Australian A-League in Craig Goodwin. Now it's with the Konate of Liverpool for France. Chouameni playing in that deep holding midfield role. Griezmann, the architect, it looks like, playing as a creative midfielder. Left foot ball over the top will find Theo Hernandez into the middle, low and flat. Aaron Moy dips his foot at it and plays it on for Leckie, who has the assist for that goal. Extraordinary beginning to this one. France came in the opening 3 minutes, and Australia since then have looked good. It must be said, a team of nobodies, as Konate claimed in the last couple of days in a press conference. And he has been beaten along with Hugo Lloris and France. But will they exact revenge? Plenty of time to do so. Ball out to Theo Hernandez. Now it's Le Bleu with a chance to surge into the box. It's with Mbappe up against the byline. He gets back into the middle. And another lunge to clear possession. Australia win that through Mitchell Duke, who comes back deep. Hemmed in their own half, though, the Socceroos. We'll go all the way to Matt Ryan, now plying his trade with FC Copenhagen in Denmark. They were unable to get over Tunisia earlier in the day. The other two sides in this group. Now Rabiot. Square ball. He's given that away, though. Clumsy from the French midfielder. Moy has it. He's stalked by Griezmann. The Celtic midfielder down the line. Leckie wants to control. Moy with intricate passing. Australia win a free kick here, and they have done so intelligently on the right wing. Just over the halfway mark. 16th minute of play. It is France 0, Australia 1. Can they safeguard this lead? Do they have what it takes? Back line of Behic, Riles, Sutar and Atkinson. Many said Australia with the weakest squad in this tournament. The goal threats, you would have thought, would come from Matthew Leckie. He's got 13 goals for his country. Mitchell Duke has 8. Irvine has 7 and Sutar has 6. But no one was suspecting that Craig Goodwin would get the first goal for Australia at this World Cup, if any goals for that matter, especially against one of the world's greatest teams that we've ever seen, the current reigning world champions France, who beat Australia 2-1 in the group stage in Russia. As France scrape through to get out of the group and then simply run over the top of everything in their path to win that final. Rabiot gives away a free kick as Behic came forward, left side of play. As is Behic, now in his 55th game for Australia, who has a couple of goals for himself. He's just signed with Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership, who aren't doing too well. But all those bad memories from the current domestic season have been put aside. This delicious ball comes from Mbappe. Theo Hernandez gets past one challenge. Good ball into the middle. Moy stepped in the way of Giroud, who has been suffocated by the two centre-halves for Australia. Decent setup by Graham Arnold. Now a square shift over to Goodwin. Good ball from Irvine. Now Moy. A little bit of space in front of it. Shifts it back over towards Leckie. This is where he beat Lucas Hernandez. Theo Hernandez won't have any of it. In fact, Leckie ran into some trouble there. Theo straight back up. And he wants to go on a marauding run. If you haven't seen it, I'd suggest you go and check out his goal for AC Milan, where he ran the best part of 75 metres to score in Serie A last season. Now Ousmane Dembélé of Barcelona. Inverted run. Gets past Goodwin. Finds, looked as though it was Mbappe. Wanted Giroud. It's fallen though to Dembélé. The 1-2 will be cleared away by Harry Sutar, who's been one of the stars for the Socceroos in his opening 19 minutes. We're talking about the world's most famous players of this code. Football, or soccer as it's known in Australia, is nowhere near the top there. It's all about Australian rules, football and cricket and rugby union, rugby league. And soccer is well down the list. Most will remember the golden generation of the Socceroos back in 2006. First time they'd made it since 1974, and they made it to the knockout stage and were ousted by the side that would go on to win that World Cup. Here's a rough challenge there, and it looks though it's going the way. The referee's called play on as Irvine came at Chouamani. ball came off the Frenchman. That's an Australian throw, and that is the kind of thing that Socceroos fans want to see. These are the 1%ers that win you matches and win you big moments. All wins are made up of these small moments. The throw comes from Atkinson. Leckie came, as did Duke. And it will be at number 3 for Australia. Nathaniel Atkinson will concede possession. 23 games and 2 goals for Hearts. His 7th Australian cap. Australia have won this back as France tried to work and move forward. Giroud looks frustrated. 21 minutes and has hardly touched the ball. Loose ball here as Australia stream down into the attacking half. Goodwin has it. The overlapping run from Behic. Instead it goes into the middle. Shuameni comes, as does Pavard. And the ball released Shuameni across. Came Kai Rouse. And put that over the touchline to safety. Slowed down France's progression forward. Mbappe, the youngest player to get to 60 French caps today. So a big moment for him on an individual level. He won't care about that if France don't win. And he would have earmarked this one for a couple of goals as France give it away again. A long-range shot comes in, and that's gone inches wide. Australia close to going 2-0 ahead. The mistake coming from Theo Hernandez and his side. They're giving that away in a central area about 30 yards away from goal. Miscommunication. And Mitchell Duke looking to bury that one. Need to take no prisoners, including Hugo Lloris. That bent away from the goal. That was harrowing into the top corner and has just gone a couple of inches wide. And Hugo Lloris was fully stretched. There's no way he would have got there in time. France lucky not to be 2 goals down. And in fact, they haven't even issued a challenge to Matt Ryan because the back four for Australia have been doing the job as now Australia come forward again. McGree puts it out wide for Goodwin. Wants to curl one into the middle. Can't get it there. Behic comes. Just steals it back from Dembele. Moy comes to collect a loose ball. And the experienced Celtic midfielder goes back to Rouse. Giroud coming to Rouse. He's forced to go with a long ball down the pitch. McGree was there. He'll go out, and in the end he's given away a free kick by the look of it. France come forward now. Rabiot exchanges passes. It's Upamecano. Now Mbappe gets involved. Left side of play. Down to a trudge. Upamecano to the middle. Now it's with Aurelien Tchouameni of Real Madrid. Benjamin Pavard is getting up to a jog now as Australia remain compact. Looks like they're shaping up with a 4-5-1. Mbappe decides to take on Leckie. The Australian trying to outwit Mbappe. Instead it's Atkinson who comes across and pumps the ball down the pitch just to clear the danger for now, and out comes Lloris to pass it to Upamecano. And he's Tchouameni again. Cross into the middle, getting the centre D. Passing the halfway now, France. A long ball over the head of Rabiot. And it looks as though Leckie, who came back, will allow that to run over. Australian throw, but it's very deep in their own defensive territory. And they're looking dependable. These Aussies in the stands here at the Al Janoub. They are loving this. Perhaps a little incredulous, some of the looks on those faces. But the ecstasy when they saw that Leckie had beaten his man in Lucas Hernandez and then fed over an accurate pass across the face of goal. Craig Goodwin getting the opener here in the 9th minute. We're in the 25th now. It's France 0, Australia 1. Mbappe now, wonderful turn, and across comes Suter. Ensures that it hits the sideboard, the advertising board, you may know it as. Previous to this, we saw 2 0-0s between Mexico, Poland, Denmark and Tunisia, and possibly the boil-over of the tournament. Saudi Arabia coming from behind to defeat Argentina 2-1, and that would have spurred on Australia to believe, and they have the opening goal. Now Dembele came up and lost out that battle. Wonderful tenacity shown there. The ball fed down the pitch. France still have it though. They're pinning Australia back. They want the equaliser, and they will shift it out to the right wing again. Dembele running back to get it into the middle. Griezmann came, and he will be the man they're looking to instigate something. And his 24th consecutive match in terms of Euros and World Cups, the first Frenchman to ever do that in 24 consecutive matches for his country. France with a corner, into the middle it comes, and headed away it goes. Now it's Mikel Hernandez, put back into the middle, really dangerous position, and there is the equaliser here, and it comes via the head of Aurélien Rabiot. It is France 1, Australia 1, into the 27th minute. A sublime ball that found the head. It was like a heat-sinking missile. And Rabiot, with a gasp of relief, has beaten Matt Ryan in the Australian goal. The corner came from Griezmann. It was headed out of the area. What a ball that was in the middle. Rabiot well onside, running through, no one marking up on him. Australia losing their concentration in their back line, and Matt Ryan was just off balance when that header came to it. Probably 9 times out of 10 he would have been in a more central location, and that's exactly where Rabiot headed the ball, which came in from the left side of the pitch. The shape on the ball was gorgeous, and Rabiot is celebrating the equaliser for France. And we are back to level pegging in Qatar. What an opening half an hour we've had. This has been scintillating football in spurts, not the whole time, but both goals world class on the world stage at the World Cup. And the French supporters are rallying. There's another set piece here. It comes in, and again it comes in at head height, and it's headed away by Australia. But nothing can be taken away from the Socceroos and their beginning to this tournament. They have been able to hold their own. Apart from 1 or 2 lapses, you do have to beware the French onslaught at times. So here at the Al Janoub Stadium, it is 1-1 between France and Australia. Australia taking the lead in the 9th minute, and that was through Craig Goodwin. The reply coming from Adrien Rabiot in the 27th minute here. France looking to avoid the embarrassment of not being able to win their first game at this World Cup as defending champion. It's not too often that defending champions are able to win. And the last 3 champions have all exited in the group stage as reigning champions. Italy in 2010, Spain in 2014, and Germany in 2018. So Le Bleu looking to avoid that, and with that goal from Rabiot, it set them on their way. 30th minute we are, and this will be a goal kick. Taken by Ryan, comes out to the halfway line. It's still in play, miraculously. The header comes from Rouse. Moy miscues. His pass goes backwards. It was an attempted clearance. It goes towards Duke, and Haber will go back and get the ball for France in their own half. Australia is just zoning off. No high press. O'Connor up to Theo Hernandez, who, if you've just joined us, has come into the game for the injured Lucas Hernandez at left back. Just the one change so far, but the 2 goals. And it was a day where we really needed goals in this tournament, with just the 3 previous to this one. Has a stack, can't dispossess Mbappe, who's now in a central position. Rabiot goes to take his place out on the left. He's out there with Theo Hernandez. Now Griezmann, the overrun there from Mbappe. Matt Ryan will come out as the ball shepherded to him by Behic. And for the moment, Australia have just taken a little bit of heat out of this game. Since 2014, it's only Ronaldo, as a European player, that has contributed to more goals than Antoine Griezmann at Euros and World Cups. And now France with the chance to go 2-1 ahead, and they do so. It is Olivier Giroud who taps home to give the world champions the lead in the 32nd minute of play. It was a mistake from Australia. They gave the ball away, and France were never going to let that opportunity slip. They are buzzing in the stands. They're buzzing there again with Rabiot, who fed the ball over to Giroud. And the AC Milan striker, the oldest player to represent France at a World Cup, scores the simplest of goals. A mistake that came as Australia were playing out from the back. It was given away. Atkinson involved. It came back to Rabiot. On the left, he put it across. He rolled it there perfectly for Giroud, who found himself in open spaces, more or less on the penalty spot. Matt Ryan once again out of position. And the Australian captain watches that go in. The second time in the past 10 minutes. And Giroud adds to Australia's pain, who had the lead against all odds through Craig Goodwin. Rabiot equalised, and he assisted here for Giroud, his 50th goal for his nation. And as I said before, the oldest player to represent France in a World Cup. 36 years and 54 days, Olivier Giroud. And what a season he's having. Some late goals for AC Milan. He gets one relatively early enough in this match, and now they're back in command and in charge of their own destiny now. But we have seen one of the heavyweights of world football lose earlier today from behind against another Asian side in Saudi Arabia. Australia part of that Asian Confederation, no longer part of Oceania as they were back for 2006. Now it's New Zealand. The most famous Oceanian nation. Moy putting the ball forward. Duke not able to get there, and now Graham Arnold will have to rethink how he's going to get back on level terms. It was Atkinson who was muscled off the ball by Rabiot, and Mbappe with a delicate back heel back to Rabiot, who put the ball on a platter for Olivier Giroud. Those are the kind of mistakes you simply cannot make. It wasn't even a proper mistake. It was just a lapse in awareness, peripheral vision. Atkinson not realising that he had the likes of Mbappe there to feed Rabiot with a little back pass to send him on his way towards Matt Ryan. He drew in the Australian keeper. Giroud was all on his own. In fact, one of two French players that could have scored that goal. And now they are in complete control here as they have possession on the halfway line. It is with Konate. Dembele now right wing, inside run, finds Rabia, square ball, Chouameni. Out to the left they go. Theo Hernandez with Mbappe. Another trick in the book of Mbappe. He'll be much happier now that his nation's back in charge. He's looking for his second World Cup and as many attempts. He's into the box now. Mbappe squares it up. Griezmann came, took it away from Giroud, and now it's cleared by Behic back to the halfway line, but no one there for the Socceroos, and out comes Hugo Lloris. Konate again. Sluggish looking Australia now. Looking just a little fragile in defence, and it's France looking to pick their way through in between the lines of midfield and defence. Australia was so close to going 2-0 ahead. It was the long-range thunderbolt from Mitchell Duke that went inches wide. Now Dembele takes on Behic. The Australian loses out. Dembele across. The first time volley came from Mbappe. Did that hit an arm? Giroud's follow-up well over the bar. They have got the stranglehold they want on their prey. Dembele took on his man in Behic. Mbappe's volley, his first time, it was going well wide. It came back off an Australian defender, fell to Giroud. So the world champion coming from a goal behind to overwhelm Australia. An optimistic viewpoint for most Socceroos fans is that they could have held on and hauled their way, dragged the French corpse of being the heavyweights of being the world champion, and then backing up in the subsequent world championship, but losing their opening game. It's been done so often. We've seen it so many times. Those group stage exits from Germany, Spain and Italy. South American teams have been touted as outright champions here in the heat, as Argentina and Brazil. Uruguay, another dark horse. The World Cup played in the Northern Hemisphere winter, technically, even though it is in the Middle East in searing conditions. Now it's shipped back to Matt Ryan, who's out of his area. Rounds across to Behic. Dembele comes. Behic knows it, goes back to his teammate, last defender. Moy comes. Nothing on. France happy to sit, looking to pounce on the next mistake. Irvine comes centrally and receives. And McGree. Socceroos is happy to sit on this ball. They want the French first line of defence, the battalion number 1, to come at them so they can try and take on number 2. Instructions may have been put out there. Get to half-time, just the 1 goal down, and then persevere in the second half. The ball comes to Goodwin. He chips over the top to McGree. Back comes Chouameni. Mitchell Duke swipes at the ball, almost as though you'd hit the defence button on your FIFA controller. Chouameni knew what was going on. Went the other way, and won France a throw. Didier Deschamps, who will be furious with conceding the first goal, but will be delighted at the same time that they have been able to take back control of this game, as Griezmann now finds a quick run of Theo Hernandez. Now it's with Mbappe. He's got Atkinson to take on again, puts it into the middle, and it was a wonderful move by France that hasn't been converted into a goal as Dembele puts it over the bar. Just the way they were able to sweep across from one side to the other, as if Australia weren't even there. And Dembele on the spot, on the penalty spot, literally. A bare hitch in front of him. Matt Ryan and Giroud, who was being heavily marked by Suter. So much space around it. The Barcelona forward, now 25 years old, 4 goals for Barcelona in La Liga. That's this season in 14 games. His teammate Tchouameni in his first season with Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid. 12 games, no goals, but he's a holding midfielder. He's not there to score them. He's there to be the architect in midfield and a backup piece of the defensive puzzle. He is with the ball now. Mitchell Duke comes, so Pavard receives. Now back into the middle for Konate. Looking like Griezmann first time. That is super, that ball from Mbappe. Didn't use Theo Hernandez on the run. Instead, they camp about 40 yards out from the Australian goal, looking for number 3 in this game. It's some first-class football. Not just from France, from both sides. And now it'll be given away as Aurelien Tchouameni finds Dembele on the edge of the area. Into the box comes a square ball. And again, a diving boot from Kai Rouse will clear the danger. Griezmann again. Tchouameni, vertical pass, quick passing. Mbappe receives to Dembele, and again it's Rouse, running as far as Pavard. This time it's Dembele, steals it back off Behich. Danger here for Australia. Into the box they come again. Mbappe has it. 3 come to him in green and gold, and the shot comes in anger from Antoine Griezmann, who drags that wide of the right post. A left-footed effort at goal. It went low down to Matt Ryan's left. The FC Copenhagen keeper, this time with a sigh of relief. But urgency shown this time by the Australian defenders. Aaron Moy leading the way. Not part of Ange Postecoglou's first choice starting 11 for Celtic, but does get game time every match and is rotated in and out of Scottish Premiership and what was Celtic's UEFA Champions League competition. They've now been eliminated. They won't take any further part in European competition as they came fourth in their group. And Moy coming in from Shanghai Port, from Huddersfield and Brighton midfielder. Also spent some time in the early part of his career with St Mirren. Also some time in the A-League, along with Craig Goodwin, who currently plays with Adelaide United, and stunned France with the opening goal here. Lovely turn by Rylan Agree of Middlesbrough. Goodwin all the way back to Rouse. He finds Soutars. We head towards the 45th minute, and now around about 100 seconds away. We'll see how much stoppage time we have. It shouldn't be too much, and we've seen some large portions of added time come in this tournament so far. With so many injuries, we do have that injury of Lucas Hernandez to contemplate. See what the fourth official wants to award for that. France win it back. It's with Luka Mercano. Goes back to Hugo Lloris. Technically gifted midfield here for France with Rabiot finally finding some form with Juventus this season. He's been possibly their best player. So many voices. There was a chorus of them that wanted to get rid of Rabiot. Large paycheck. He did come free technically, as they say, but you save him a transfer fee only gets added to the wages for some of these players who see out their contracts with their club just so they can make money instead of a cut. Another ball from Chouameni. Comes into Griezmann. He's through on goal here. Behind him, surely there's a third, but it's been smashed over the bar by Kylian Mbappe. Would you believe that? France have eaten up the chance to go ahead by 2 with just seconds to go until the half-time whistle. And Kylian Mbappe, in his 60th game, has gifted Australia the opportunity. They are still in this technically, but they have been outplayed, outsmarted for the past 25 minutes. And Deschamps, he is incredulous at that miss by Kylian Mbappe. It was put to him 6 yards out from goal. It was at hip height. He had to volley it in. He came through like a bullet train. Trajectory, good half a metre over the bar. France should be up 3-1. We are into added time. There are 6 minutes of those, and a really guilty edge chance for the PSG and possibly world's best player. Now it's Behic into the middle, points on Goodwin to the byline. He goes. There's a chance here with a header for Australia, and that's hit the post. It's Jackson Irvine looking for his 8th goal in the green and golds. Wonderful ball with really good shape on it, and the height of Jackson Irvine was there on hand. He went from the right post over to the left, and that has hit the post and gone out. Hugo Lloris, you can thank the woodwork here. And Australia unlucky not to be back on level terms in stoppages of the first half. And in fact, could have been 2-0 ahead if it wasn't for Mitchell Duke's effort with too much bend on it. At the outside of his boot, looked as though it was definitely going in. And then just at the final millisecond, swerved to the right of the right post and saved France some blushes. 3rd minute of stoppages now. Australia with it from McGree. It was around this area in the defensive third. They gave the ball away and France took the lead. This time Irvine getting back. Kai Rouse. Satisfactory performance. You can't blame Australia for going down to the likes of the world champions. Such a high pressure environment. You cannot give anything to France. But now there's an early ball played by Moy. It's an incisive one. It's split both Goodwin and Duke. But how important has Craig Goodwin been? The goal and almost an assist. His ball finding the head of Jackson Irvine. St. Pauli midfielder with 7 goals and his 50th cap for Australia. Scored that goal against the United Arab Emirates to help Australia along and get here to the World Cup. Many thought that they wouldn't be able to do it. They technically finished in 5th and 6th places. That's why they had to take on the UAE for the right to take on Peru in the Inter-Confederation knockout, which they drew 0-0. They won it on penalties, and now they have a throw in a high position. Ball put out by Konate. France leading 2-1. To tick over into the 50th minute, and we will have one more after this, so it's well won. Good perseverance, and Australia's still with it. But now Pavard, a header, and Dembele will collect, and back comes Goodwin. No one can keep up with the Frenchman though. 3 come to him, including McGree. Just held on to it too long, did Dembele, but he's won it back for a clumsy touch. Now with the headless choke, Behic comes. Konate settles it down. His ball will just be kept in by Theo Hernandez. And Mbappe now, who has to take full responsibility for that miss, which would have put France 3-1 ahead. It was a 45th minute chance. There's 3 in the high press for Australia up against 2 French defenders. And Konate. He's got Pavard to his right. Inside is Chouameni. Pavard instead goes to Griezmann. Chouameni now on the halfway line. Across for Upamecano. 50 seconds left. Is there something late in this half for either side? Now Australia pinch it back. Aaron Moy. So much time, almost overthinks it. In fact, he does. He went down the right side for Matthew Leckie, the Melbourne City winger, formerly with Hertha Berlin, Ingolstadt as well. 10 goals there with Ingolstadt, 7 for Hertha. FSV Frankfurt, 19 goals there. Spent some time with Adelaide City in the early days of 2009 to 2011. Champion France and Australia, it's 2-1 for France, but the opening goal came for the Socceroos in their 9th minute through Craig Goodwin. Adrien Rabiot with the header in the 27th minute. That was the equaliser. A mistake at the back gifted Giroud a tap in, and France take the lead into the break. We'll be back with the second half. Don't go anywhere. An outstanding first half of football at the FIFA World Cup 2022 at Al Janoub Stadium in Group D. The halftime score is France 2, Australia 1. And we're almost ready to go for the second half of this game. It'll be Australia to kick off. We'll see if there's any changes at the break. Australia took the lead in the 9th minute through Craig Goodwin. It was then Adrien Rabiot on the 27th minute to level terms, and then Olivier Giroud just a few minutes later to get France back in front with a tap-in. We're away with Australia now kicking off. A long ball put forward towards Matthew Leckie. It's shepherded out well by Theo Hernandez. The 50th goal in French colours for Olivier Giroud, who is the oldest French national team player to represent the blue at a World Cup. Graham Arnold would have been delighted with the lead. They held on to it for 16 minutes before Rabiot headed past Matt Ryan. A central header, really good ball put into him from Theo Hernandez that was introduced as a first half substitute for his brother Lucas, who went off with injury in the 13th minute. So we'll keep tabs on Lucas Hernandez and see exactly how he's going for the remainder of this World Cup. But in the opening game, France without change at the half-time break. And also Australia at this point still out there with the same 11 that they impressed with and imposed themselves on this game. Now they come forward into the middle. Duke slides. The ball came in from Jackson Irvine. And sits. It's with Leckie. He's got Irvine to the right. The run now made. It's Nathaniel Atkinson. He's run into some trouble. Double trouble, in fact, as Upamecano and Pavard came over. It's good staunch defending, but now Australia have a corner kick in the 47th minute of this game. Can they pinch a goal back and get back on terms? They're all in there. Haven't been too many of these set pieces for the green and gold. Moy lurking on the edge of the area. Referee Victor Gomes comes over just to let Matthew Leckie know that he shouldn't be impeding Hugo Lloris. He's marked up by Theo Hernandez. And now it's Mitchell Duke who comes to stand on the keeper as well. Will finally be taken. The corner whipped into the near post and headed away by Antoine Griezmann. And then picked up by Harry Suter. All the way back to Matt Ryan it goes. 4-1-2-3 formation from Graham Arnold for Australia. Midfield of Irvine, Moy and McGree. Up in front of them is Duke, Leckie and Goodwin, the goal scorer of Adelaide United. So of this starting 11, there are the two players that ply their trade, play their domestic football in the Australian A-League. Matthew Leckie with Melbourne City and Craig Goodwin with Adelaide United. The pair combining the assist over to the goal scorer for Australia's goal. Now it's with Dembele. Turns his man spectacularly well and wins a free kick. Griezmann again coming deep. 31 years old and started to play that Deschamps role where he'd sit in front of the defence, and Rome is given the licence to roam in that French midfield. Where's that number 7? Playing in his 24th consecutive game. It's every game that France has played in the Euros or World Cup. Now Theo Hernandez bursting into the box. France looking for the third. The ball is played behind everyone. And it's hit back in by Aurelien Tchouameni. Hacked away by Australia. Upamecano again for Theo Hernandez with plenty of space on the left side. This time it's an area ball. The bicycle kick comes and has been put just wide by Olivier Giroud, which would have been one of the best of his career. He met it with such venom and ferocity. A smashing effort at goal, acrobatic from Olivier Giroud, and it was the two AC Milan players that teamed up for this one. Plenty of time for the 36-year-old to pick his spot. He went across the body, past Kai Rowles, past Harry Suter, and in the end it's a good half a metre to a metre wide. And now Australia just playing some hospital football at the back, and a clearance for Matt Ryan will find Aziz Behic, who was the player that gave away technically the own goal and the winner to France the last time these two countries met in the previous World Cup in Russia. On that day there were two penalties, one converted by Antoine Griezmann, the other by Mile Jedinak for Australia, and then with minutes to go it's Paul Pogba who went at goal, came off Behic, deflected in off the crossbar and over the line, and France had their win up. They won 2-1 that day. They lead 2-1 here in the 51st minute. It is the world champions, but technically ranked as number 4 on the planet, and that's due to their shocking performance in the UEFA Nations League, in which they've just avoided relegation. Australia ranked at number 38. Now Konate over to Upamecano. France starting with 3 Bayern Munich defenders in this one. Lucas Hernandez off. In came his brother of AC Milan, arguably the better left back. It's slightly different players, even though they are genetic identical twins. But now it's Kylian Mbappe over on the left. He evades the challenge and chips the ball in. But Behic is there. He was vertically challenged, but he was able to outcompete as Pavard came forward and had to get back into position. Pavard getting up there to create the extra man, and good intelligent play from France. Can Australia resist? They've been able to ward off a few of these French ways of attack. Now Chouameni, back from Giroud. Giroud, wonderful ball. We'll find his club teammate Theo Hernandez. Now Mbappe. Good footwork by Theo Hernandez wins France a free kick. Jackson Irvine might go into the book here if he's not careful. He's trying to plead his innocence, but Theo Hernandez knew exactly what he was doing, and the overzealous challenge definitely made contact with the underside of his boot on France's left back. And Mbappe standing there with his free kick. It's about 35 to 40 yards out, well left of the goal, probably a good 8 feet or paces in from the left-hand touchline. And Australia set their lines. Giroud is there to create some confusion. They all make their run in now. It's a lofty ball. Too much flight on that from Mbappe, who hasn't had his best game. And his 60th game for his country. So it looks as though Liam Arnold's will look to the bench shortly. Rabiot scoring. Juventus midfielder with his 3rd goal in 29 appearances. Keeping out the likes of Vertu and Fofana. Camavinga, of course, there's no Kante, arguably France's best midfielder, unavailable, as well as their best striker. So 2 huge blows for Le Bleu coming into this World Cup with Karim Benzema, the UEFA player of last season. We all know the damage he can do. Now look, Australia looking to impose themselves. They've given it away cheaply and a free kick while trying to regain possession. And this is Mitchell Duke, who's now getting a stern talking to by Konate and Chouameni. He goes over to let Upamecano know exactly what he thinks. He thinks that the French defender dived. In fact, it's Ousmane Dembele, but I can assure you that the lunging effort by Mitchell Duke did take a big chunk of the Barcelona right-sided winger. And Mitchell Duke will receive a yellow card. So something for Graham Arnold just to be concerned about. First yellow card of the game. It's been a relatively good spirited play so far. Good sportsmanship shown. Australia's goal did come with Lucas Hernandez going down, but he was already beaten by Matthew Leckie. And you're never going to just stop play and put the ball out in that situation where you've beaten your man, you're coming in towards the goalkeeper and put it on a platter for Craig Goodwin. And it's a really good finish on his left across Hugo Lloris to the far corner. And Australia had that opener in the 9th minute. Huge start for the Socceroos, as we will see the first change of the game for Australia. And it is, in fact, Mitchell Duke, the man who just received the yellow card. A handshake from his coach, and the substitution comes in. It is Cummings. Central Coast Mariners forward, and just his second game for Australia, does have a goal for his country. 27 years old, Jason Cummings. So some fresh legs. Mitchell Duke coming close to snatching a goal in that first half. And steaming wide of the right post from about 25 yards. He had nothing else on. He went at goal. Now it's the chance for another A-League player. Jason Cummings has played some time in Scotland and England. He's now back in the A-League from this season. Left Dundee before that with Shrewsbury Town and Luton Town and Peterborough United. A few games at Rangers back in 2018. Loads of clubs, but not enough goals. He did get 11 with Dundee, and so far has 12 in 26 games for Central Coast Mariners, also known as CCM, the acronym. And most of Australia's homegrown representation do come through the Mariners, which are a club based north of Sydney. And no prizes for guessing where. It's on the central coast of New South Wales. Now is Dembele. Comes inside. Still got plenty to do. Wants to pick out his man, which was Teo Hernandez. High position. Chouameni. Rabiot. Right side now for France. Pavard. Griezmann. One-touch football. Classy stuff. But they've given it away. But it's been won back. This time by Ibrahima Konate. Good experienced defending. Read the play. Some clinical football by France. They have been devastating in transition. Not the grandiose finish that you would expect from Mbappe, who let Australia off the hook in the 45th minute by plunging his volley over the top of the bar. Sublime ball from Griezmann to find him at the outside of his boot, put it on a silver platter for the PSG striker, as this time is Jackson Irvine, who rushes Konate into playing the ball, and it's out over the touchline. Australia with a throw in the 59th minute. Some of the other firepower on the bench. There is an 18-year-old by the name of Garang Kuol for Australia. He's the youngest player to ever play for the Socceroos. Now Mbappe tries to backheel to find Griezmann. Too many green and gold shirts there. The ball's now played over towards Lecky, who never stood a chance to get past Theo Hernandez. It's a French throw. There is an Australian player down, though. So we'll see if the referee stops the play. The Socceroos back up and hopping. Defensive line breaks. It's been mainly Griezmann and Upamecano. So they're looking to launch balls and break this Australian defence down. Now Pavard coming in field. He finds Upamecano to Theo Hernandez. Back inside. We'll go with Pavard again, playing the central midfield position. Good hustle by Jackson Irvine, and he has smashed into Chouameni. And now the ball through. Surely it's Mbappe, but a sliding challenge comes across. A goal-saving sliding challenge, I must say. That was brilliant defending, and Mbappe wants a corner. He has run over to the area where you would take the corner kick, but he's not getting it. Chouameni wanted a free kick in back play for the challenge from Irvine. He might have a claim there, but in the end it was advantage to France, and what a challenge that was, as France do get awarded the corner in the end. But Harry Souttar and Kai Rouse are playing one of the best games of their careers, and it was against the world's best. Olivier Giroud getting a lecture from the referee. The ball will be sent back to Kylian Mbappe. He'll send it in again. Near post it comes. Griezmann was there. Wanted to flick it on. In the end, it will stay in play. It's bounced all the way back to halfway, and now it's with Hugo Lloris. What a career for the French captain. Talking about a career of 140 games. The Tottenham Hotspur French goalkeeper captaining his side here. They've come from behind. Now Mbappe again up against Atkinson, who made the fatal error of giving the ball away. And Rabiot and Mbappe combined to feed Giroud for Giroud's until now is the winner. Now Theo Hernandez, another incisive pass into the middle, and it's there to be hit by Mbappe on the left. Griezmann surely is offside. All the Socceroos raising their hands. Linesman doesn't look as though he's flagged, so we'll have a corner. Most of the French players in the box, but they are right on the edge of the area, looking to make some deep runs in. So Australia's zone, then on the near and far posts. Griezmann takes this corner. The header, towering over the top, was Konate, looking for France's third. In the end, it skews off, and it goes to the right of the goal. The ball being sent in from the left by Griezmann. Konate towered above everyone. It was only Harry Souttar who went up with him, and the Stoke defender was out-jumped by a good half a foot. Which is quite ironic considering the team's called the Socceroos for the vertical leap, you would assume. 64th minute, France 2, Australia 1. And we are here in Qatar at the Al Janoub Stadium. So the second game of the day with 3 goals in it. The other 2, no goals. But the goal fest yesterday with England and Iran giving us 8 goals. Now Aaron Moy, Australia with some purpose, but Moy forced to dance around. He was corralled in and isolated in the end by 3 French midfielders, and that is how you do it. Now Kylian Mbappe wants to shoot, and it's gone straight into Atkinson. Just rushing the shot again, and Atkinson getting back in time. And the shot coming in from the left of goal. So another one to add to the statistics. France dominating. Now Pavard. Kamano wants to receive from Chouameni. He doesn't get it though. He distributes Theo Hernandez. Australia doing a remarkable job of pushing France back. And now it looks as though Chouameni is down for the count. He's holding that right ankle and will require some attention in the 65th minute. Could be the second player for France to go off with an injury. There's no point in risking Aurélien Chouameni, 22-year-old from Real Madrid. Such a season he's having with games every 3 days. Does play at Real Madrid with another a young Frenchman by the name of Camavinga. Camavinga does play a slightly more advanced role though, like a Rabiot. Graham Arnold in command of Australia for the first time in his career at a World Cup. Just the one change so far for both sides, and we are allowed 5. Chouameni wants to come back onto the pitch. And now France back to 11 men. So up until today, Australia's last 3 World Cup goals were all from the penalty spot, all scored by Mile Jedinak. Prior to Goodwin's goal, Tim Cahill was the last to score from open play for Australia. That was in 2014 against the Netherlands. Before this game, leading up to it, from contemporary football, we'll call it this year, Edin Hustic was the last Australian player to score in a competitive match. That was against the United Arab Emirates in the lead up to winning the right to take on Peru. Now Griezmann breaks the line here, gets a ball received from Giroud. Griezmann again, so heavily featured. Theo Hernandez to the byline. Here come France again. It's Griezmann off the line by Australia. France simply need to do more to find the third goal. Antoine Griezmann scored against Australia last time when they met in 2018. And he wants to be on the score sheet once again. Last time it was from the penalty spot. Now a measured ball in. Mbappe across the face of goal. It rolls. Dembélé is over on the right side to collect. He's up against Behic. Good ball in, and it's off the post and in. It's a header from Kylian Mbappe, and France have their third goal. 68th minute of play, and the world champions are on their way. Australia denied them off the line only seconds before, but Les Bleus through Dembélé. It was a picture-perfect cross from the right side. Mbappe timed his run to absolute perfection, which was what you would expect from the world champions. And the header in from the central part, just in front of the goal, off his head and onto the left post and in. Mbappe, who received from Theo Hernandez, he blindly put the ball across goal. Dembélé ran over to collect. He took on Behic, found a gap around Behic to locate Mbappe, who had to leap high in between 2 Australian defenders. Soutar couldn't get there. Rowles couldn't jump high enough. Almost ball watching Kai Rowles. Tried to give Mbappe a little shove, but it is the man from Paris Saint-Germain who leads his country to the 2-goal cushion. It is the boys in blue out to a 2-goal lead at the Al Janoub, and now Australia with almost zero hope of getting a result here. The boil over was on for 9 minutes, but France equalised. Big smile on the face of Mbappe. In his 60th game, he scores for his country. The youngest player for France to get to the 60-game mile mark in history. France looking to become just the third nation to defend their crown. Italy did it back in 1934-38. Brazil did it again in 1958-1962. No country has done it since. In fact, the last three champions have all gone out in the group phase. Now the ball comes through down the left channel. And Konate dispossesses Behic, and there's a big difference in size. Konate took his eye off the ball, knocks it over the touchline. Behic with a quick throw. And now Irvine into the middle, hits Cummins, who's had little to do except try and man-mark some of these French defenders. And it's Tara Hernandez brought down by Jackson Irvine. France looking to reach their fourth World Cup final since 1988. They've reached three, more than any other nation in that period of time. Behic clearing the ball off the line, and Griezmann shot a goal, but it was Dembélé to get the ball to the head of Kylian Mbappe. So much danger in each area of the pitch for France, and that is why they are the champions of the world. The Coupe du Monde is theirs, and Mbappe stands up his man again. Atkinson left behind, and Mbappe toying with him now. The ball back into the middle, and the header for 4-1 comes, and it is Olivier Giroud who is flattened to the ground, but he has a brace. Mbappe took on his man and smashed him down the left-hand touchline. A super ball in, and an exceptional header, unerring from Olivier Giroud, who was then sent flying to the ground for his trouble. But France have the fourth goal. They have turned it around after going behind in just the 9th minute. Olivier Giroud in for Karim Benzema, the oldest player to represent France at a World Cup, kicks his competition off with 2 goals against the Socceroos. It was Mbappe who stood up Atkinson not once but twice. Nathaniel Atkinson just couldn't go with him, and it was Australia's central defenders and Harry Souttar once again. Nothing you can do. Behic couldn't stave off the advances of Giroud. There were 2 Australian defenders in front of the Frenchman, and the Frenchman waited and was lurking. And from the left side of the pitch, the ball came in from Mbappe. Giroud standing in line with the right-hand post. And now he's the all-time joint top scorer for France with 51 goals. So now it is a chance for Graham Arnold and Australia to try something new. It is Aouar Mabil, a 27-year-old who plays in Spain with Cadiz. He's in for Riley McGree. So Aouar Mabil, 5 games this season with Cadiz. No goals though. Kenyan-born. Started off with Adelaide United. 8 goals there. His best stint at club level was with Midtjylland. 108 games and 16 goals. And also Kasim Passi in the Turkish Superliga. Another change for Australia. Trying to bring on some fresh legs as it's the goal scorer Craig Goodwin who comes to the bench. So congratulations to him. He has a World Cup goal. And on comes the 18-year-old. It is Garang Kuol of Central Coast Mariners in the Australian A-League. He's been signed by Newcastle United. So we'll see what he can add. Good ball into the middle. But pushed off the ball. Jason Cummings ran onto it. So an injection of pace. Some petrol in the tank for Australia. Let's see what they can do. It looks as though Nabil and Kuol have gone to each wing. So a change of the front three. We started with Goodwin, Duke and Leckie. But McGree has come out of the game. Mbappe has the ball again. He's up against Atkinson, who will want to return. This time Mbappe tries to nutmeg Atkinson. He was awake and took the ball away. Goes down and feeds the ball in the direction of Jason Cummings. I'm not sure he's even touched it yet. Let's have it back. Rabiot. A big opportunity here for the likes of Kuol, who wears the number 21. And Nabil wears the number 11. Behic against Griezmann, forced backwards. Rounds to Sutar. France happy to stand and watch. Giroud finally gets a move on. Long ball comes. It'll be seen over and for a goal kick for Hugo Lloris. With the most work he's had to do in a good half an hour. Now a double change for Didier Deschamps. This will be Fofana and also Coman. So Fofana wears the number 13. Luxury that Deschamps has as Dembele comes to the bench and Coman will come in. Youssouf Fofana, 23-year-old from Monaco, in for his third cap. And it's Kingsley Coman of Bayern Munich, 26 years old now, 41st. He has 5 goals for Les Bleus. So it's headed back in towards the edge of the box for Australia. But France clean it up, and out comes Kano to Teo Hernandez. They stand up, they see the advances of the Australian front three. Now Rabiot, they pick their way through the overconfident back heel from Mbappe. It's taken away. Now Jackson Irvine. Cummings finally gets a touch. Australia want a free kick. Player goes down, referee blows. Giroud pleads his innocence. And it was a good run forward. Leckie just pushed over. Giroud, don't know how he was expecting to get away with it. Leckie playing in a midfield role now as Cummings and Nabil and Kuol operating that three-man front line. Aaron Moy stands over this set piece. It's right side of goal and it's about 25 yards out. They'll swing it into the middle. Really dangerous looking ball headed away by Upamecano. It's back with Leckie, who will go all the way past Mbappe, and Behic will go back to Matt Ryan. Disappointing for Australia. They needed to get it back into the mixer. As we're now into the 79th minute. It is France 4, Australia 1. First of the game was Goodwin for the Socceroos. Then it was Rabiot, Giroud, Mbappe and Giroud. France with the early injury for Lucas Hernandez. His brother came in, Teo. That was in the 13th minute. We went to the break at 2-1. Now Australia, who have conceded another 2 since then, are coming forward. Cummings gives it up. Jackson Irvine brings down, looks to be Fofana. And a yellow card shown by referee Gomez. One of the important midfield players for Graham Arnold in Australia is Jackson Irvine of St. Pauli in Germany. 29 years old. We would expect him to be around should Australia get to another World Cup at 33. In his 50th game and playing up against the world champion. Although they are down by 3, they will lose this game pending some miracle. What a way to get to 50 games for your country against the very, very best on the planet, the world champions. He's had some game. And Rabiot. It's well cut out. Really well done. It's a quad. It's fed on. The ball, a good return pass from Lecky. And Irvine back to Suter. Rouse over to Behic, who was the player in which that Paul Pogba effort at goal deflected off and off the crossbar, which enabled France to get the 3 points in the group stage in Russia against Australia. 10 minutes to go, and now it's about damage control for Graham Arnold. Don't want to lose by too many. Don't want the heads to go down. The next game coming up is still all important for Australia. It's against Tunisia, and if they can start as well as they did here, they are in with a big chance, although it is a stubborn-looking Tunisia. They're able to get a 0-0 draw with Denmark. Now it's Coman. Big danger here. France looking for the 5th. It's Mbappe who turns. He twists. It's back over towards Giroud, who wants a hat-trick. He won't get there. Coman will go over to collect. Now he's being pressed. Just for the moment, it was good work by Mabut to get back and defend. And now they're defending in numbers, the green and gold. Everyone behind the ball. Jason Cummings comes to just hassle Rabiot, breathe down his neck a little. Now Fofana. Pavard. Fofana finds Coman. As did Behic. It's picked up and one back just for the moment, but then it's Mbappe. Well done by Aaron Moy on the second attempt. Took it away from Mbappe. He's now in the area, and will he get his second of the game? He won't. It's poor control. Just needed a moment of quality, and it's astounding that I have to say that in the same phrase as Mbappe, but it really was perilous moment for Australia, but such poor control from Kylian Mbappe. Just had Matt Ryan to beat. The ball again sumptuous from Antoine Griezmann, who is the metronome in this midfield today for France. Whenever they have put Australia in precarious positions, it has come from Griezmann. He put one right on the boots of Mbappe in the 45th minute in that first half, and the PSG man blasted high, and a really shocking effort at goal. He does have one, but it hasn't come off his boot, it's come off his head. Two yellow cards in this game, both going the way of the Socceroos. Nigel Duke and Jackson Irvine, who presses Griezmann. He might be up for a man of the match, despite not getting a goal of his own. Mateo Hernandez out there with Mbappe on the left as usual. Giroud comes. That suffocating play of the Australian defence. And forced to switch, and it will be Konate, who looked for Coman, but found the advertising board. Another double change coming for Australia, so big chance to get some minutes into some of the less experienced players for Graham Arnold. Jackson Irvine will ensure that Australia will end the match with 11 players. He comes towards the bench, so the night is over for him. And in comes, looks to be Bacchus wearing the number 26, Nathaniel Atkinson. Will also be one of the substitutions as Degenek comes in. So Keanu Bacchus, the interesting story for him is he currently plays with St Mirren, has 2 goals in 13 games, actually beat Aaron Moy's Celtic. We covered that game on Flash Score. But he's a player that was South African born, ended up with the Western Sydney Wanderers, now representing Australia, and in just his second cap for Australia, and what a way to do it against France. Yet to score at a big moment in his career, and a good way to boost that CV. The other player is Degenek in his second World Cup. He comes in. Last time he was with Yokohama, this time with Columbus Crew in the MLS. 28 games there for Milos Degenek. Croatian-born, ex-Red Star Belgrade player, Stuttgart and Yokohama, Al Hilal. But now with Columbus Crew. So a defender coming in there, 28 years old now. France in full control of this game. Rabiot has Moy on his coattails, goes across to Bonate, and it's Griezmann on the right wing, goes back inside to Rabiot, who's always there. He's ubiquitous, omnipresent is Rabiot, as is Griezmann, and that is the reason why they are so dominant. Upamecano, Rabiot, Pavard, Coman. Out comes Bacchus to do some defending, and then makes the run forward to pressure Pavard. France look content with the 4 goals, a 3-goal lead, and they will surge to the top of Group D, looking for a 5th now. They come into the box, and Matt Ryan with a good call from Harry Suter, who left the ball for his captain. At the back post was Giroud, looking for the hat-trick. So in that regard, France will be at least optimistic of adding a 5th goal. And you would expect them to be targeting Olivier Giroud, who undoubtedly is playing in his final World Cup. Now the all-time joint top scorer with 51 goals. Remarkable career, now with AC Milan. He is a master of the late goals. He's got them on various occasions for the Rossoneri. So he won't be without hope of getting something here. Mbappe. Griezmann in control. Distributes into Pavard. They'll make the run in. It's over the top of Giroud, and it's headed away. Quite worrisome for Degenek, who had no one around him. Surely Matt Ryan was screaming to him to allow the ball to go over his head, but in the end it's a French corner, and with 2 minutes to go in normal time, Didier Deschamps stands next to 2 more players about to enter the fray. This will be Jules Koundé of Barcelona. And I cannot reiterate, cannot mention enough the luxury that France have. Despite missing Benzema, they have Giroud, and his night is over. He gets a brace against the Socceroos. They stand for him, and Marcus Thuram will take his place. We'll get a few minutes. Lots of laughter, a hug between coach and Giroud. There's the number 9. On comes Thuram. He's 11 years Giroud's junior, 25 years old. And France looking for a 5th, and it's batted away off the line by Matt Ryan. Danger once again for Australia. We do not want to lose by an embarrassing scoreline. And up there lurking was Thuram straight away. It's back with Hugo Lloris. Moy corralled by Griezmann and Thuram. Nonchalantly played by Qual. Just moments after coming in. It's not Thuram, it's Konate looking for a goal. They're standing right next to each other, coming off the defender and not the striker. Now Coman plays it across. Griezmann still there for France into added time now. At the end of this one, with the results not in doubt, Griezmann feeds it in. The towering header came in from Theo Hernandez. 7 minutes of stoppages, so 6.5 more minutes for Australia to endure. Now it's with Mabil, who send it long in the direction of Qual. Kunde will let it run. So Garang Qual with the Central Coast Mariners, 7 goals in 17 appearances, is the youngest player to get on the pitch at the World Cup for Australia. He will join Newcastle United in the Premier League on January 1st. Just turned 18 in September. Second cap for him. He comes from South Sudan. Born in Egypt though. Well, now Coman breaks away from Bacchus. He's got Griezmann on the inside. It was an impossible task. Now he comes to Griezmann, who plays the return pass. And Behic comes back and sees it over for a French throw. Good resistance there shown by Aziz Behic, the Dundee United defender. Behic also in his second World Cup now, formerly with Bursaspor. That's who he played his football with. He went to Russia in 2018. 41 years old now, has 2 goals for his country. Has just joined Dundee United, has 2 goals there as well. 4 Turkish clubs in his career, and a stint with PSV Eindhoven and Melbourne Hearts. Now Coman into the box, France go, and then out. Rabiot. Kunde, good turn by Coman, wants a free kick. It's play on for now. Mbappe wanted to turn, it's come off Arisuta. Did that come back off Kylian Mbappe? Doesn't look like he's protesting. Australian fans are no longer jumping around, bouncing, but the French, they are here in big numbers. Lots of blue, white and red here at the Al Janoub. Unprecedented times as we play a November-December World Cup. 21 attempts at goal for France in this one, just the 4 for Australia. But when they were 1-0 ahead, it was Mitchell Duke who fizzed one past the post. And it could have set the Socceroos up to 2-0, and it would have had Didier Deschamps in real despair. And to the 4th minute of stoppages, halfway through to be technically correct. 3.5 minutes, still got 3.5 more. The game has lost all of its urgency, but Giroud now off. Theo Hernandez gives away the ball. Aaron Moy read it. Really poor from Jason Cummings. It will fall to Moy, who will slide the ball towards Mabil. It took a chunk from Theo Hernandez, and it'll be the second Hernandez that is down for the count in the space of 90 minutes. It would be quite unlucky for Didier Deschamps to lose his two left-backs in one game. And that is a strong challenge from behind by Aaron Moy. Does receive a yellow. And that is Australia's third of the game. 95th minute one to boot. So where to for Australia from here? Well, it's Tunisia next. That's on the 26th of November. And on the same day, it'll be France taking on Denmark. Australia play Denmark on the 30th of November, as does France against Tunisia. But this result, all important for one of the favourites. It's left by Coman. Here comes Koundé. Coman will go all the way to the byline and won't be able to keep it in. Or will he? In the end, the linesman's flag goes up. Did sail over the byline. I'm not sure why he allowed play to go on. And Graham Arnold, a frustrated-looking character on the touchline, just when you thought it may be a script, an unlikely script, with Australia taking the lead. It's full anger, disbelief. But wouldn't be for the neutral. They would have been expecting England son with a larger gap in the scoreline. But then again, everyone expected Saudi Arabia to lose heavily against Argentina. Lionel Messi getting a penalty to put the Albi Celeste ahead, but Lionel Scaloni's side suffering 2 goals in the 48th and then 53rd minute. With that one from Al-Sheri and Al-Dossari. And a goal from Al-Dossari as well in the 53rd. Brilliant stuff from Saudi. Deservedly, they take those 3 points and lead the group over Poland and Mexico, who drew 0-0. Don't forget, we have more for you on Flash Score coming up. We'll go to tomorrow's games. 4 of them starting at 10 a.m. GMT. Morocco, Croatia, then Germany, Japan, Spain, Costa Rica, and Belgium, Canada. For now, it's Australia just allowed to pass the ball around. Vertical ball from Moy to Cummings, who puts a really nice ball through. It's lovely stuff here in the final moments. The dying embers of this first game for Australia. Behic, is there something here for the Socceroos right at the death? Behic does get the ball in towards Cummings in the end, but Hugo Lloris pounces, and we're now into the 8th minute of added time, and that is the final whistle from Victor Gomez here at the Al Janoub Stadium. France, the defending world champion, they come from behind, they turned it around when they went down early. A brace for Olivier Giroud is the big story. The oldest player in French World Cup history. He was out there wearing the number 9. He grabbed 2 of those goals that helped France to 3 big points. And they now lead this group, and deservedly so. A 4-1 win over Australia. And France now at the 3 points after just the 1 game. They avoid losing the first game of the tournament as defending champion. Didier Deschamps off to a flyer. Antoine Griezmann, one of the real standout performers, along with Rabiot. So we'll take you through. It all started with Craig Goodwin, the assist from Matthew Leckie. Australia made it 1-0 in the 9th.